Welcome to the Dalorrian show. I'm the guy. I'm him. I'm the dude. I'm I'm the unk, as they say, Dalorrian. And this is the Dalorrian show. I think we already said that, which is fine. New year, new me, and I gotta say, I hate the new me. I like the old me better. The new me is overrated in a lot of ways. But yeah, I don't know what is new about Dalorrian here. Actually, we have a new microphone. Maybe you can tell. I hope that you can. God, I hope that you can. We have got a new Shure microphone. We got a Focusrite 2i2 something mixer and a cloud preamp. I have a list of this on the Discord if you're truly interested. Some of you guys are like gearheads and you're like, what you got, bro? What you working with? And I totally respect that. And there's been times in my life where I've been a super gearhead. So, but I do have that posted on the Discord or whatever. And but it's really good. And I finally got to use it on a stream yesterday because we were playing a wonderful game, Dispatch, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, the new me, new microphone. And I'll say that we're also I'm going to change my camera up, I think. I feel like you guys deserve to see me as I really am in the highest of quality that you can see me. I know that that's what you want. I know that you want 4K dad Dalorrian. Slightly overweight, graying, saggy boobs. I'm just kidding. They're not that saggy. I mean, I got a little ugly. We're working on it here. We're working on it. Anyway. But no, I've done some photography in the past. Can you believe it? Wow, what a unique thing for a millennial to do. But I have a Panasonic GH5 that I've had for a while, and just a few years ago, like maybe let's call it like 2 years ago, I was like, where I live, there's not a lot of things to take pictures of. You can take portraits of people, but if you don't do it professionally, it's kind of awkward to be like, hey, can I come over to your house and take pictures of your kids? It's just for practice. Or, hey, man, hey, how you doing? What's up? Oh, hey, dude, what's up? I hadn't seen you in a while. Hey, man, can I come over and take pictures of you? It's just for practice. It's just for, Or like a lady, right? A lady be like, hey, I'm not quite professional, but like, hey, can I come, maybe we go out into a field and you bring a couple of different outfits and I take pictures of you. For practice. You know what I mean? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So once you've taken pictures of all the flowers and buildings in your in your town, in your neighborhood, like you can take pictures of your kids, and like I've taken pictures of my oldest, and I need to take pictures of my youngest now. I mean, she's only been around for a few months, so it's like I'm not like late to the game. And we have tons of pictures of that child, just so you know. But yeah, it's like I could probably take some really nice photos. And I probably will, because as I get it out and start fooling with it, I probably will be like, hey, let's just put a little, dress on her and let's take a shot. But yeah, I'm out of space in my setup, and you can't see this, but there's no space. There's no outlets. I honestly think I might have to. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Okay, this is going to be a work in progress, but I tell you this, I'm going to mount the camera to the freaking wall. And I've wanted to avoid this, and we've been talking about moving for a bit, and I'm like, well, maybe I just hold off on the camera until I move, because it's no big cost to me. Like, I already have it. I already have the camera. I just need an adapter to keep it powered, because it uses like little batteries, but it's like, I already know how to use it. Like, there's like not really anything standing in my way, like adjusting my desk a little bit here and there, but it's like, I just don't, I was like, I don't want to mount something into the wall here. But I don't know when we're going to move, and it's a situation where it's like we could move now. And interest rates and price, and like we don't really need to move right now. We're kind of like we have the perfect little space set up. But if we add another kid, which could happen, maybe it'll happen. I don't know what's going to happen. Who knows what might happen. Then we have to do something. Then it's like we must change our living arrangement, which in 2026 it kind of stinks because I think what's going to happen is like we'll probably have to sell this house, which is a decent quality house. I feel like newer build, not decent quality, but decent quality build. I feel like so far. Maybe another 5 years it'll all fall in. I don't know, but I think what we would have to do is we'd have to buy a lesser quality house that has more square footage and end up paying more than we pay now. And it's just a kick in the old, that's a kick in the old nutsack there. So yeah, I don't know. I'm going to mount it to the freaking wall. It's like, look, we're here, we're doing it. We don't know how long we're going to be here. Could be 1 day, 2 days, 10 years. Who knows? We're going to mount it to the wall. We got the microphone. Let's get the camera. And it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. Like, you're going to listen, if you like it. If you don't like it, you don't, it doesn't matter what I have, camera, whatever. It's like, am I passionate about what I'm doing? Am I interesting? Blah, 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 blah. I don't know, bro. But yeah, so we're going to try that out. Panasonic GH5 is a great camera, by the way. It does good video. It really does probably better video than it does photography. But whenever I was hunting, I was like, I kind of want to do some video stuff as well. It's like I got into this hole where I was like, making sweet videos could be so cool. And I did a little bit. I ended up doing more like portrait photography and stuff, and it was great. I really enjoyed it, man. Like it was not something I enjoyed so much where I was like, this is my career now. We're doing this now. Now I'm going to take photos. And it wasn't that, but why not? I've done music, I've written books, I have a podcast. I've done a couple of different podcast projects. Like, come on, man. It's just like another thing on the creative list. Why not get into it? So yeah, I did it. And but yeah, I have it, and I'm gonna try to use it. I'm gonna try to set it up. We'll see. It'll be interesting for the streams, and I don't know, like we could probably do different styles of how I look or what I do. And I don't think we're gonna do any green screen. I think it's just I think the angle will change, but I think it'll be like, okay, you just see my windows and my little exercise bike and maybe this couch over here, probably more than the TV behind me. And I leave all this shit out here because it's like, I don't know, I want to be a little bit more approachable than like green screen and a glowing game over sign and a Funko Pop. It's like, I don't know, what are we doing here? What are we doing? And in the world of AI, it's like, I don't know, I'm betting on authenticity here. That people are going to be more interested in seeing a wireless hub internet router thing than I don't know, plushies. I don't know, or statues. Maybe you do want to see. Hey, write into me, DalorrianTV@gmail. Do you want to see a Garrosh Hellscream statue instead of a Sylvanas Windrunner statue instead of a router? Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, so I also with the new me, I've been walking. I talked to Mrs. Dalorrian, and I was like, and I asked her the most dangerous question you can ask a wife. Okay. Never ask what I asked my wife. I said, if you could picture the version of me that you would want to see, what would he do? And she was like, well, you'd probably walk like 2 miles most days, and then maybe like, do some like lift or strength training, like maybe some lifting, maybe some strength training. You get better sleep habits and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, well, let me stop you right there. Sleep? Really? Me? Yeah, I don't know. Sleep is tough, but I was like, yeah, I probably need to, put some blood through my veins and arteries better. I can be quite sedentary. I'm very good at it. I am very good at zoning in and zoning out. And then coming to and being like, oh God, I was racing horse girls for 4 hours. I can't feel my toes. And so then it's like, a problem, right? But yeah, so I've been walking, and boy, I just get winded so easy. I'm not even going fast. And so she walked with me today, and I was like, Jesus, I thought she was out of shape. And I was like, I got to get some lung capacity. My VO2 max or whatever the hell they say. It's whatever the worst version of that is. Like, whatever, like what's the worst? Low, high? Probably, it's probably like a low high. I think it's low. Maybe that gets better. I don't know. Like, how long can you go? I don't know. If it starts freezing more, and I'll just be like, oh, I'm too cold. I don't know what's gonna happen. But yeah, and then but today we walked, and then I started the painstaking process. Excuse me, of taking out or taking down some of the outside Christmas lights. So, dude, whenever I'm putting up Christmas lights outside around the house, I'm always like, this is the best idea I've ever had. Kids are gonna love it. The wife's gonna love it. It's gonna be great. And then when we get to like January right now, and I'm like, why did I freaking do this? And then like I have so many lights, and then like some of them go out, and I don't know how to fix them or find the one that's messed up. And it's like, I don't know. It's like maybe I should try to fix them. And it's like, and I have like these spools. I have lots of spools, and I have to like, roll them up. And I take them out of trees, and some of the trees we have, I'm like kind of allergic to. So so I can't touch them, but I gotta do it. And it's like, I don't know. This year I was like, maybe I don't do this next year. Maybe I'd do something different. I don't think I'm gonna do the thing where like it's like a spotlight of like a spotlight of dots on your house. I don't think we're gonna go to that level, but I don't know. I'm rethinking how can we do this and be classy? Is that what I want to be? I don't know. What do I want to be? I don't want to be like redneck necessarily, but then maybe I do. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I just lean into the redneck. Maybe I'm just like, fuck it. Let's just go. Let's get a 40-foot Frosty the Snowman out in the front yard and just be like, F you HOA, I don't know. But yeah, it's always such a joy put them up because it's like, yeah, we're getting into the holidays. I'm gonna eat some Oreos, dog. I'm gonna eat me some turkey or pumpkin pie. I don't know, whatever people eat. I like pecan pie. That's my shit. Pecan pie is my shit. But yeah, that's what I get into. But pumpkin pie is actually don't like that. I don't know why I even said that. But yeah, and it's, I don't know, is it like emotional too? It's like, damn, I gotta wait another year till I get back to Christmas. Because if you're like a working person like me, it's like, damn, you wait, dude, you count the days till Christmas. It's like those 2 weeks where like, even if you gotta work, typically like nobody's working, But I've done so many go lives in January. Like I've done so many, I've had so many holidays kind of ruined by like, we got a big rollout. We got to go live. We're going live with a new system. Jesus. But yeah, man, I don't know. That makes me out of breath just talking about it. It's like walking. Talking about work is like walking. I start talking about it, and I feel myself like my airways starting to restrict. Is that normal? Raise your hand if that's normal. Is that normal? But yeah, and then new baby and older child and the wife is like, she stopped, like she got laid off because of like laws, because she's like medical or whatever, and she was doing like remote healthcare stuff, and she got laid off, and now she has like this other gig that's remote that's like for a startup that's still like medical-ish, and it's like, we're like, well, does she do that? And then that pays for like daycare. Do we even do daycare? And you got to figure this shit out, because then you got a spot, right? You got a spot at daycare. And if you don't take it, it could be a couple of years before you get another spot. And that's what for our daycare. We try to find one of the best ones we could in our area. And it's like, we feel like this is kind of the best one. And it's like, bro, if you don't take your window, then you got to come back around. And it's like, okay, you're working just to pay for daycare, which we don't use it every day anyway. Like for our oldest, and then you're like, well, you're getting fleeced. I'm spending, and personally, I'm not trying to like brag or anything, because I'm not. This is the worst. I don't make that much money that this feels good. This actually hurts a lot, but per child, it's like $800 a month. Okay. And we don't even use it 5 days a week. We do like 3 days with our oldest. So now you're going to double that up with another one, $1,600. $1,600. And with the new child, it's like, they're not going to go every day, because like you want to like slide into that, because they're not even old enough. I don't know. It's what do you do? But it's like you can't be like, all right, well, we're not ready, because then they'll be like, all right, well, we're taking you off the waiting list, and then got to go back to the back of the line. So it's like you want to go ahead and get locked in. It's kind of a racket. These kids, man, they're a racket, bro. No, I love the kid. I mean, I love the kids. The kids are actually super fun. But all the shit you have to do in our society to, it's not even keeping up. It's just like, what's best for the child? Like, just trying to figure out and navigate. Trying to navigate what's best for you is like difficult, but like trying to figure out what's best for your child is like way more difficult, in my opinion. Because there's some things like, I know this would be best, but like there's a lot of things where it's like, like, should they sit around the house with mom all day and let mom do creative things? Or mom kind of wants to work. Good opportunity. And daycare is good if you need, like, if you're just out of gas and you just need a break for a day, or you have to go to the doctor and like you have, there's nobody to take your kid, take your kid to the daycare so you can go to the doctor, or, there's little things like that. It's like, I don't know. Anyway, we'll figure that out, or we won't, or I'll just beat her. I'll just put on a tank top and I'll just be like, come here, bitch, and just start drinking and just be like, bah, bah, bah. But for real, domestic violence is no joke. For real. And I would never. I think she's stronger than me, truly. I mean, based on our walk today, all she's got to do is walk away quicker. And I'm like, well, you win this round. I can't get to you because I'm winded. So maybe that'll get better. Let's talk about video games. Let's talk about some video games. We streamed on New Year's Eve, and I streamed Animal Crossing, New Horizons, an older game, and then a little bit of World of Warcraft, which was just to ring in the new year. And I drank a little, and I was a little buzzed, and it was fun. But yeah, we did the New Year's Eve countdown with just like some random people. Like we went to the Animal Crossing Discord and met some people. And Wasabi was a person that came in. I don't know if they followed anywhere or whatever, but they came in and they gave us tons of gifts, like really good gifts, like 30 stacks of gold nuggets, 30 stacks of pearls. I don't know if you play Animal Crossing, but like, this is what billionaire, like if you're an Animal Crossing billionaire, this is the shit you give out for gifts. And so we had these gifts, and I was like, hey, come to the island, come to my island. We're gonna do a countdown. I have a Metal Gear Solid, themed island, and get a gift, and maybe we tour the island. I show everybody, because I've never streamed it. I've never showed everybody like my Metal Gear Solid island, and it changes every day. I'm working on it, But I have some of the main stuff up, and I have all the houses arranged, and I have the boss's memorial arranged and all that stuff. So it's like, show them around, show my museum. I have a lot of good stuff in my museum. I'm still working on the art, fishing, and bugs, but I got a lot of the dinosaur stuff pretty much done. And so it was a nice hang. We hung out for a couple hours, and then by the time it got time for New Year's with the fireworks and the countdown, we had like 5 or 6 people at the island, all waving our little glow sticks and doing poppers, and it was great. It was truly fun, And again, like, gave some people some gifts on the way in. We did have one person that came in and like took away too many gifts, and you gotta be careful with that, because like people will come in and be so damn greedy. They'll be like, I'm gonna pick up 10 of these and just get the fuck out. You know what I mean? And it's like, again, they can be very greedy, and that's it's to be expected. It's tempting, right? You go to an island, somebody's giving away something for free, and you're like, I don't know what's in here. I'm gonna take 10 of them, and that's like that's a social experiment almost, because that's the way it is in real life. Like, if you open up the doors of Walmart and you said, hey, and you laid out packages, wrapped gifts. If you open up the door to Walmart and you say, we're giving away things in this store, you don't know what you're gonna get, but here's wrap packages. Come on in. Whoever's here, just come on in. Please take one. Please just take one. Please just take one, everyone. What would happen? What would happen? Do you know? I think I know. And honestly, I don't think it's just Walmart. I think it'd be like Whole Foods or Target, anywhere. There's gonna be people who are gonna be like, fucking grab it all, let's go. Fuck the rules and courtesies, let's get ours. And that's, look, survival, people grow up with scarcity, and that's a lot of it. I had like, on my dad's side, I had a lot of aunts and uncles that were like that. They were like very kind of, they come over for holidays, they're like, I'm gonna take this whole cake home. And it's like, my parents were like, okay, I guess. You know what I mean? And it's like, what do you do? Because my parents and my family, we're not gonna eat the whole cake, but it's like, maybe, how much cake do you take? Like half? 2 slices? A slice? Yeah. So yeah, what do you do? Just an example. But yeah, Animal Crossing, however, sorry for the tangent. Animal Crossing, however, continues to be fantastic, on all of that. Now, what I'm not looking forward to is the Easter event. I think the Easter event sucks because it's all eggs everywhere, and it's like the pastel colors, which is, the resurrection of Christ is way cooler than anything Easter Bunny or egg related. I'm just gonna say that. A dude who like gets beat up and bloodied and escapes death, or like resurrects himself with like powers, holy powers or whatever, and then like comes back and like teleports and stuff and like walks among us. Like that's almost like the Matrix a little bit if you wanted it to be. And I'm not saying you should do that. I'm not saying you should imagine Jesus as being like Neo and like beating up Pharisees. I'm just saying you could get there. But with the Easter Bunny and eggs, it's like, I don't know. That road's kind of closed. You know what I mean? I can't really imagine a cool situation with that. But yeah, it sucks though, because you're like trying to fish and trying to dig things up. And you fish up eggs. It's like, all right, now you can make an egg bed. You can make an egg bed with these eggs. You can make an egg chair. And all of it looks horrible. And no one would ever use this for decorations. Maybe someone would. No offense if you're out there and you're like, I like the eggs. I'm sorry, dude. Like, I don't understand you. But if you like the eggs, you like the eggs. Whatever. But yeah, so Animal Crossing, it's good. I'm gonna try to continue just to like, I just do my daily stuff. It takes like anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes just to go in, do what I need to do. And if there's like an event, I think there was like a fishing tournament tomorrow. I think there's a fishing tournament tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna engage with that or not, but we'll see. Other game I want to talk about is Wuthering Waves. That's the other game I've been playing. And before I get into that, I'm playing Uma Masame Pretty Derby. You know that. I'm not going to talk about that today. I have pulled the Agori Cap horse lady that is the Christmas horse. It's like one of the best meta horses. And I suck. I tried her career twice, and it's like I feel like she's not as good, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong, and I'm gonna try to figure that out. But I'm just that game's a grind now for me. That I'm like late in that game, and I'm still playing it, but I don't know how long I'm gonna keep playing it. And like if there was like any other version of that game, maybe I would play another version. But I don't know. It's something to do. Like I'm keeping my finger on it. But again, I'm not gonna go into too much detail. But like, I'm just running careers, bro. I'm just leveling up my 2 stars to 3 stars, and I'm out of money. I'm just pulling. It's really nothing to talk about. So maybe we'll talk about it next time. But Wuthering Waves, however, I have tried really hard to push the story, and I know that because like I have characters that I've pulled, like Frolova or whatever, who I can't level up. Because I haven't unlocked that part of the world yet, the Frolova part of the world. Because how you level up these characters, as we've talked about in the past, I'm sure, is that you have to farm a boss to get the materials to then ascend and level up your character. Well, I have that's locked out for like one of my best damage dealers. So I'm like, I got to push the story, man. Because like, I could sit around and do side quests and just go out into the world and collect Azurite. I could do that all day. I love that gameplay loop. Little puzzles, beat up some guys. So fun. The stories are interesting, but also a little topsy-turvy, and I find myself skipping through a lot of it because it's like, the thing about it is it's like, that game's story is, everyone's expositions and everyone discussing what's happening is a little redundant. It's like, if you got to the point, like they'll get to the point on something. Like for instance, I went through the Black Shores. So like you go through the main game, like patch 1.0 or whatever the hell, I don't know. And you help Jinshi get her Jue dragon. You help them fight each other, and then you complete that story. And then it's like, oh, we got to go to the Black Shores because the Black Lotuses are there or whatever. And the Black Shores, and I'm probably going to mess this up because again, I kind of skipped around and tried to like understand it as best as I could. But the Black Shores is like a secret base that's kind of like the Matrix, and it is like a defense mechanism against like the Lament, which is like the end of the world. And Shorekeeper, which is a support character in the game, has like been assigned to like plug into the system to prevent the Lament from happening, but she has to kind of suffer through like a bunch of tragic feelings and visions, I guess. And then you kind of rectify that a little, but then I think you leave it open that the Lament may actually happen. But yeah, I wasn't super satisfied by that story. But anyway, during that time, you don't really travel a lot. You're like in this base, and it's kind of like Inception, kind of like, oh, where am I? What am I doing? And there's a lot of Shorekeeper. And Shorekeeper seems like the lore accurate waifu of the game so far. Like, if there's because the main character, like you're going through this game, right? And it's like a gacha game. So it's like you're just this being, and like it always happens the same with these gacha games. You wake up, who am I? I don't know. You're the chosen one. Oh my god. You can control something. You can control these things. And like, oh, you're a mystery, and you're always gonna be a mystery, and woo, you know, whatever. It's always the same. It's always the freaking same. And with this character, you're like you're the main character yourself. You can play the girl version or the guy version. I've been playing the guy version. You can switch it once every 24 hours. But like you're called the Rover, well, that's what they call you, you know. And but that's also my name. Dalorrian is in there. They're like Dalorrian, but it'll say like Rover, blah blah blah. And you know, it's like you've been here. I know you, and you're like, I don't have a memory. I can't remember any of this shit. But you're like a being that's been around forever, and you're like a hero that has come back. It's kind of like Link, I guess, maybe in the Breath of the Wild. Like you were like sleeping, and now you're back to kill Ganon. I don't know. It is what it is. But you're like, oh, okay. I wish I could remember, but I don't. But okay, this is interesting. Whatever. And so Shorekeeper, you have this conversation with her 1,000 times, and it's like they have a conversation about what's going on, and then they have the same conversation like 3 more times, and you're like, hey, stop being redundant. But then, you know, my point earlier, it's like it's just kind of redundant. But I will say during that whole sequence, like it wasn't pervy, and Shorekeeper sure felt like a companion that was like more serious and meaningful than any other characters that I've come across so far. So it's almost like I'm thinking like that's like the lore. Like if you had to have a wife, I think maybe Shorekeeper was like your wife for a little bit. I don't know. Again, I was kind of half in and out on that because I'm just trying to push the story for A, Azurite, and B, I got to get, like, if I unlock, like, if I pull characters that are on the event, like on the card right now, I'm trying to pull characters, you know, like, I'm not paying any money. So it's like, I get like 3 or 4 pulls a day, dude. You know, like maybe 3 or 4 pulls a day. I get, you know, and so you get the character on the card guaranteed in 80 pulls. And, you know, I got really lucky with Frolova. I got Frolova and then Calcharo, which are both 5-star characters, like within like 20 pulls. That's an obscenely lucky, and now my luck is out. So I'm almost at 40 pulls, and I still haven't got a 5-star. So I think I'm going to get a 5-star at 40, but then it's a 50-50. Will it be the one that I want on the card, which is an OP fairy girl who turns into a bigger version of the girl? She's like the sentinel of the land that I'm in right now. Like Jinshi, lore-wise, is like the best warrior. She's the best warrior, and she has the sentinel dragon. She's like the best warrior of the original map. And then Black Shores is like Shorekeeper is the person, but there's no like sentinel. There's no spirit of the land, you know, that you can control. There's no Charizard or whatever. And you know, so in the new card, like not the newest character, but like They've brought her back now that you can try to get her. But she's a really good DPS, and I'm like, I kind of want this one. I might not get her in the next 10 pulls, and then I might have to go another 40, and then the event could be over, and then whoever comes next, I'll be like, fuck, whoever comes next, do my best. But I have Frolova, which is very good. But again, I haven't unlocked the part of the game where she can even be used. And so I pushed on past Black Shores, and now I'm in Rinsetta, and I like it. It's like Italy. It's like anime Italy. And we're trying to figure out the mystery, and there's like this religious cult that's like, we're the enlightened ones, and the Pope or whatever is like faking being enlightened, and this true sentinel and the true guardian of the land is like kind of locked away, and we got to go unlock them. And there's a couple different families, there's the Montatelli family, and then there's the other family, and they're kind of blah, blah, blah. But Carlotta, which is voiced by our girl Jennifer English, right? I think that's right, who is Shadow Heart in Baldur's Gate 3, and then is Mayel in Expedition 33, is the voice of Carlotta. And Carlotta, if I had to choose a character that I wanted, that I could get, it would be Carlotta. And the way these games work is like, you don't get to choose what you get. You could randomly get her if she's not on the event card for the role, but like the only certainty you have is like, if they're on the event card for the role and you roll 80 times, you will get this person. You might get them earlier than 80, but if you just have the worst of luck, you will get them at 80. And with Carlotta, she's not a card, so it's like, I may never freaking get her, dude. I mean, it could take years if I don't pay, and even if I paid money, I don't know, like they're gonna have to bring her back, and I think like their event cards look like they last a month. It's like 30 days, so it's like you have 30 days to like get that character. If you do want one of them, there's like 2 or 3 cards, and it's like 80 per pull at worst. And so you got to roll those, and you can get all of them if you want, or you can keep rolling and get, upgrade them, because if you get 2 of the same character, you can like upgrade their main passive abilities like up to like 5 or 6 times. It makes them way stronger. But yeah, man, it's a grind and a half, bro. So, but I do want the character, just, and we're gonna see what happens. But I did get Shorekeeper. Shorekeeper is, there was like a starter card, and I've been kind of like switching back and forth. I'm like, okay, the main card, then I'll spend a few on the starter card, and that's limited too. But I got Shorekeeper, and the Shorekeeper, it took me like 60 something pulls. It was not great, like maybe 70. So I finally did get her, and she's fine. I mean, I already have Vereen, which is another support character. So like she has to, you have to have her. If you're gonna go in game, you need to have her. Truly, I think, like, it's because she's gonna fit into like most builds if you want to really like spend the currency and get to that point. But yeah, like maybe it's coming off as negative, but I'm actually really enjoying it. Like, it's like the story is, you don't have to care too much. You just have to know if you keep pushing the story, you're going to get Azerite. You're going to unlock more things to get Azerite. I mean, where the game probably will fall off for me is when I get done with the story, and then it's that in-game grind where it's like, okay, every day you got to go grind this, you got to go grind that, and you got to grind this. Now put it down. Come back later when we introduce a new land and story for you to go to. Maybe that's where I, fall off in all this. I don't know, but I'm really enjoying it. And I don't, with any of these games, World of Warcraft, Wuthering Waves, Masane, whatever the hell, Pretty Derby, if you think about the end, you will drop off immediately. And a lot of people struggle. I've done that in the past. I've struggled with that. And a lot of people with World of Warcraft, a lot of people, when I stream WoW, they come in and they're like, I don't know. You can just tell, like, they want to play, they want to be invested, but they get so hung up on like the end game. And they're like, well, what about this character in the raid? And like, I don't know. And I do that too sometimes. But it's like, dude, do you know how long it's going to take you to get to like level 60? And then you're worried about like min-maxing. You're worried about like the 2026 version of the internet build of like what you need. And I understand like there's some guilds and stuff like that won't let you go raid if you don't have your shit together. But like, you're trying to get all of your shit together, and you haven't even created your character. You're trying to fit the whole cake into your mouth at once. And you're like, I don't want to fucking do this. And I get that, because it's like, if you do think about the end, you're like, okay, like I'm just going to imagine I completed all the content. I'm just going to imagine that. Like, you know, pre-patch for WoW's coming up on January 13th. If I just sit here and imagine, like, okay, I'm a Blood Elf Paladin, I'm maxed out everything. I'm just going to pretend that like I have that. I could do that. Yeah, okay. Or like I can think about like, oh, you know, you get to the point and I want that last item and I got to roll for weeks and I may never get it. And then by the time it's going to be a couple of years and then all these patches come out and all these new raids and I'm losing up. I'm like I'm just not, I can't keep up with like the one top 1% of the gamers. And then now we're at the Wrath of the Lich King and then like I'm like fucking behind. It's like, yeah, dude, you're going to, yeah. And I'm not, and if you feel that way, I'm not telling you to go into any game and do it. You may say to yourself, like, I just want a 10-hour game I can complete, whatever. You know, a game that I really loved, that I played somewhat recently, that was like a game that was kind of like, it wasn't, it was kind of a massive RPG, but it was, what's the saying? A mile wide, an inch deep. Yeah. Assassin's Creed Valhalla for me was like the single player live service grind where it's like, dude, you have a shit ton of stuff you can go unlock on the map, a lot of story, some base building. You can 100% this game and like there's no rush. You don't have to worry about like raiding, spending money in the store. You do not have to worry about doing that. It's like completely optional, which it shouldn't even exist. But, you know, there are so many good single player games out there that like you just back off. Like if you don't have the itch to go into like a Wuthering Waves or whatever, and just accept the journey and accept that you're gonna fall off. You know, you're gonna fall off. You're gonna lose the hype because that's the way that it works. Now, some people are kind of autistic. No offense to autistic people. Maybe I'm autistic. I don't know. Maybe I have Asperger's. I don't know. But some people like are so hardwired to certain games that like you can't do what they do. Where like they get into the game and like that is their game. And they're most World of Warcraft players, that is, I don't know if it's most, but I bet it's 50%. I bet 50% of the people that play WoW, this is my stat, yes. I bet half the people that play WoW Classic Anniversary and Classic, that is the one game that they play. Same for retail. They don't bounce around the other games. They don't get into the other shit. They don't care. They're like, no, I don't care. This is my game. So I'll grind. I'll run. I'll try to get invincible, you know, for 10 years and run. You know, was it? I almost said ICE. Is it ICC? I think it's IC. Yeah, Ice Crown Citadel. Yeah, I'll run ICC 200 times to get Invincible's reigns. I don't want to play Madden or whatever. You know what I mean? Madden, is Madden even still a thing? But you know what I mean? Like some people like that's their game, bro. That's their game. They don't play other games. That's totally fine, right? Because they're autistic. But no, I'm kidding. They're not autistic. I get jealous of people like that. Honestly, I have a buddy of ours, friend of the stream, Mad Faxer, and I think that with he's kind of changing a little bit. He's kind of leveling up his life. I'm very proud of him actually. But I will say, like for a long time, like he'll just play Call of Duty. He's just gonna play Call of Duty, bro, in Warzone, and that's it. Like he will play another game with me and like Jack Lars, like out of courtesy almost. Like he's played Rainbow Six Siege with us. He played a little bit of Battlefield 6 with us. I think we streamed that and put it up on the YouTube. But like, you know, some games he's not going to get into. You know, Red Dead Redemption 2 online, he's like, you know, he'll buy a game and play for courtesy's sake. But like, if he was going to play, it's Call of Duty, and he hasn't been playing games in a while, and it's actually good for him. It's like he actually needs to settle into that, I think, and then come back and like maybe play. But it's like that's his game, bro. And by the way, he's autistic. I'm just kidding. I don't know if he's not. Well, no, he's not. He's not. I don't think. No, he's not. Right? How do you tell? Is there like an app for that? Like, can I take a picture of somebody and be like, okay, like get like a spectrum level on that? low, medium, or high, like a VO2 max. You know, like an Apple Watch or like a phone, and just like scan. Can I go just like scan him like a Mad Faxer? You are indeed 30% autistic. I don't know. That probably exists, maybe. Wuthering Waves, though, like I'll say, like it's not going to be like my be all end all game, but it's a nice game just to pick up and play a little bit. The combat's way better than I expected. The pulls are more generous than like Genshin Impact and even like Honkai Star Rail, I feel like. Open world is nice. You know, it's kind of like Zelda. You know what you're getting into if you played Breath of the Wild and all that, but better, I feel like. Beautiful game. The story stuff, you can skip through it. It's not that big of a deal, and you can get to your asteroid and get your pulls or whatever. And it's like plenty of side content, plenty of little dungeons and modes, you know, and events to do. It's nice. It's a nice thing. And for me, where I like just have time, like, okay, I got 30 minutes. Let me get up the PlayStation Portal or get on PlayStation. Let me just boot up something where I can just beat some shit up and have some progress. Like, it's so good for that. Same for Uma Masame. Am I saying that right? Uma Musume? Uma Masame. Uma Musume, I think. I don't know, dude. Pretty Derby, horses. Same with that. It's good just to pick up, play a little bit. You can obsess, bro, but you know, you don't have to. You don't have to. Let's keep pushing forward here. Sorry, I yawned there. It's been a long day and night. A game that we streamed recently, and it's going to go up on YouTube tomorrow and the next day. It's a 8-episode game, and we did 4 episodes on our first stream with Cosmo Gang, and then we did the back 5 through 8 a couple days later. What a game. Dispatch. And I had heard about this game here and there, and heard people talk about it, saw stuff online about it, but it was like holidays, and you know, there's been so many games dropped, and I've been really like into, I've been all in on like Octopath Traveler, you know, during the holidays, and like I really need to go back to that. I probably will. This game was such a complete surprise, and I heard about it, I was like, okay, it's kind of like the old Telltale games, but you are a person who dispatches and sends out superheroes to clean up the city, or like you have a zone of a city and you literally dispatch them to do missions. And I was like, all right, that's all I really know, and that's all I really did know. And I'd seen screenshots, and I was like, all right, whatever. I was like, I'm gonna try it. I booted it up, instantly in love with the animation, the quality of the sound, the animation, the voice acting. I didn't realize this at first, but the main character that you play as, Mecha Man, is or Robert Robertson, which, you know, funny name. He is voiced by Aaron Paul, Jesse from Breaking Bad, his most famous role. So it's professional. And as a dude, there are a couple different love interests, you know, that you can potentially get into with 2 attractive females. Who doesn't want that? I saw an article on some liberal site that was like, and you know, no offense to liberals, it's just a liberal site. Like, this is the Twilight for dudes. I was like, get the fuck out of here. What are you talking about? The Twilight for dudes, man? We all go in the movie theaters. We all got people got dispatch posters, bro. Nah, dude. More likely, Uma Masume, Pretty Derby is the Twilight. You don't. This is written by a person that doesn't understand dudes. It's not as big as Twilight, guys. Dispatch. It's not, but it is so nice. And I'll say that, like, as soon as I turned the game on, I did not want to turn it off. And, you know, if you're playing the game, it's going to take you about 8 hours to beat. I'd call it 8 to 10 hours. And so each stream was probably 3.5 to 4 hours. So that's 4 of the front episodes, 4 of the back episodes. There's a couple of big decisions you can make that I think would probably alter the game to a decent amount, but I don't know. And I'm interested though. Like, I'm probably going to replay this game, and probably very soon. I played the version of the game where you can do quick time events. I played it on PC, so it was like mouse buttons, and like there's like a hacking mini game that you can fail, and that was kind of stressful. So I think on the next version, like, you can play it just on cinematic, where it's like you just watch And then when you have to make like a story decision or you're playing like the game part of the game, you can do that. But like for the cutscenes, you do not have to like click a button really, because like it's a short window of like click the button. And those games, like, it's really fun to do that. I think I like, a lot of people hate on quick time events. I like them. I think they're interesting, especially if you're playing with friends or streaming. If you have other people that are like watching you sweat over this, like that's more fun because the person that's watching with you gets to see what's happening and they get to see the difference of like, oh, you missed this and now you got punched, or now you missed this and this happened. And some of the funniest moments in games I've ever experienced were from quick time events. Like in old games, they used to have them. Resident Evil, any Quantic Dream game, so many funny moments from those games. So, and they're core memories in a lot of ways with friends, like playing couch, not co-op, but like couch games, like story-driven games. You know, love them, love those games. Like I love those like Until Dawn and The Quarry and like those teen horror movies or horror games they come out with. Those are always super fun and funny. So yeah, I knew that, and the Telltale games, I didn't really hate those. There were some of those I really liked too. And so I was like, you know, this looks like a higher quality of that. And it really is, man. It's a very high quality version. It's like you take Telltale, and this is like way higher quality. And so there's a couple things I do want to say, though. The language and vulgarity is it's a little much. Now, I'm not a stiff, like, I don't mind. I'm just saying, like, there was enough in there that, like, plenty of people will be offended by it. You see penises and balls, so many curse words, so many vulgar phrases and conversations. There is some nudity with some sexual content and activities in the game. Not over the whole game. There's like episode here, episode there's like little spots, or whatever. But it's in there. It's a mature game. This game would be, if this were a TV show, it would be on HBO. All right. We're talking HBO. I don't think it would be on AMC or TBS. So TBS exists. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Netflix, you never know. But like even I think even Netflix would be like, hey, you know. But maybe not. But yeah, it was like, ooh, you know, it's a little. And so what we did is like we started out and it was like, oh, fuckity fuck F forward, you know. And I was like, this is almost distracting to like what's going, because like it's not forced. Like it was kind of funny and it was okay. Like it was like, okay, this is just how they talk, whatever. But it like actually was way funnier whenever we bleeped that out. And so the game lets you bleep out language. It lets you take out the royalty music. So I don't know what music's in the game on purpose. I did the royalty free version. I'm actually super interested to see what it would be, but I'm going to stream it again maybe, or record it again for YouTube. So I don't know if I'll ever get to experience it. But it doesn't matter, right? Like it's like, you have that option, and then you can turn nudity off. And I'm interested to see, like, you turn nudity off. Like, is it just going to skip entire scenes, or like, is it going to blur stuff? Like, I don't know. But I think you can turn that off. And then, but there's penises, balls, like boobs. You know, I never saw a vagina. Just will say that I remember. But just to get that content warning out of the way, and I put that on YouTube, like, hey, content warning, like you're going to see some stuff. We did this kind of unfiltered, but you push that out of the way, and that's not even something that's in the way. Like if you're into that, you may be like, this is the best, you know, because it's raw, and it is. Such a great game, such a great story. I love the story. I love the world. I mean, you're in Los Angeles, and then it's not necessarily unique. I'm sure there's plenty of shows and movies that are, you know, Suicide Squad, right? Like, oh, you're a bunch of bad guys. We're going to try to make good, or vice versa, or whatever. You know, there's always like a spin on heroes and villains and things like that. And but yeah, I really loved it, and the game part of it I love so much, and some people may totally hate it. But like, there's a game where you can, obviously there's like a little hacking mini game that's kind of whatever. But then you have your heroes, and you have like timers, and you can, based on your hero stats, you can like level them up, and then you have to like send them out to missions, and you have to pick the right people for the right job, and you'll get little clues of like, this person needs to impress, this person's giving a speech or whatever. And so you have to find someone with like intellect and charisma. It's like, okay, we need help moving heavy stuff, or like, you know, there's a big fight breaking out. Okay, I need somebody with combat or vigor, or like, we need this done quickly. We need it done fast. Okay, we need somebody with mobility. And you can put out, you know, sometimes a mission will have where you can put 2 heroes in, or 3 heroes, or 4. And sometimes it's like you can only choose one. And the game is so meta with it that's like the storytelling is part of that game. So if your heroes and stuff are like, if there's something going on within the story, it affects how they perform in the game. And like you might be like, hey, I need you to go do this thing, and they'll just be like, no, I'm not going. No, fuck you, I'm not going. Like they might be pissed about a decision you made, or they may do some other kind of random thing within the game. It's just beautifully done, And I can't wait for like another version. I don't know if they're gonna. I have no idea. I'm following them on X now or Twitter. God, who made this? I should probably let's see. Let's just do it. I just want to throw their name out there because again, Dispatch developer, Ad Hoc Studio, and a second season for Dispatch is being considered. They're developing a game within a popular Critical Role universe. And look, I don't know if this is a Critical Role. I don't know the universe, so this could be a part of the universe. I don't know. I will probably dig into this more because I did enjoy it so much. Now, here's the thing. Marvel exists. DC exists. There's so many hero stuff that exists. Like, I don't watch a lot of TV, and I don't watch a lot of movies because I don't have time. Like, I have to make a decision. Am I going to play games or am I going to watch TV? And I will always choose games because it's something interactive for my mind. And, when I watch movies, when I watch like real people do things, I get too empathetic. Like, I just feel like I'll tear up over nothing. And I don't know, maybe that makes me gay or something. I don't know. But like, if it's like a movie that's like super dark and a lot of people are getting murdered or like raped or whatever, it's like, it affects me. Whereas like games, if there's a game to it, it doesn't really hit me like that. I don't really cry during games. I don't know. And then there's some games like is anybody gonna cry during World of Warcraft? Probably. There's probably 50% of the people that play World of Warcraft have probably cried over World of Warcraft at some point. Some of the story, I don't know. But for me, like I just would rather spend my time playing a game. There's too many great games. There's too many games to play. And with movies and shows, they're always in and out, and there's a lot more propaganda. It feels like in movies and shows and agendas in movies and shows and TV shows than there are games. And like, look, games can fall off. There's plenty of propaganda and weird shit in games as well, and agendas in games. But with TV shows, it's so heartbreaking because you might start watching season 1, season 2, and then season 3. Like Ted Lasso. Like I have watched shows, by the way. I do watch some TV, but there's some people that I talk to or whatever, like watch everything that comes out or watch like if you watch this, you watch that. I'm like, bro, I don't have I'm sorry, no. Like I don't have that kind of sit down time. I don't. But like I do, but only for games. I do. Like I do sometimes, but if I'm gonna do something, I'll be on my phone, be on my portal. I'm not gonna sit here and just like veg out. I'll have like an existential crisis or something. I can't do it. But like the Fallout TV show we'll watch, like Ted Lasso I watched or whatever. I've been watching The Office and Parks and Rec and stuff with the little baby. It's like something just on the background that I kind of know. It's a little comfortable. We watched Severance. Like we watch shows, right? But we don't watch as many shows as others. I don't watch any superhero shows. So there could be movies and superhero shows that like this is getting ripped off, or like there's way better versions of this. But for the superhero scuffed, rough around the edges thing, kind of reminded me of Kick-Ass, but way better to me. Like for me, I was like, I love this. I freaking love this. I love this so much. And so, I guess what I'm saying is I can't recommend this enough. Now, if you don't want to pay for it, you can always watch it on YouTube. I'm probably going to do another playthrough. I don't know if I'm going to do commentary and stream it live. I might just record it and throw up my other decisions. But I want to make decisions differently. And actually, with the mini game, and maybe I'm a psychopath because there's a lot of people be like, you would just play that mini game. Dude, if that mini game was a phone game, bro, I would install it right now and I'd be playing that shit all day. Like if you give me a little superhero in this universe, like gotcha game without all like keep it a little simple, but like I can get a 3-star, 4-star, and send them out on missions and shit, bro. All day long, give me that game. I want that game. I love team management. I love managing soldiers and heroes and knights and what. I love managing the team and sending them on missions. I love that. I freaking love that. And I like going out on the missions, of course, as well sometimes. But like if I can send people off to do something and like try to get the stats or like make the roll, man, I freaking love that. So for me, this game is like a 10 out of 10. And if I would have played it before the new year, it may have gotten higher on my game of the year list. It probably would have been like second or third. Maybe second or third. Octopath would probably fall in, maybe fourth or fifth or sixth, which I still love that game. It's just so long. I'm trying to finish it. But yeah, choices seem to matter. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna find out for myself. I'm gonna try to knock it out a little bit more in a more relaxed manner. Try to knock it out and see what it is. But yeah, great game. I hope they make more. Like I said, I usually don't follow just any developers or anything. I only follow developers and stuff where like I'm interested in what they're going to put out next. So the Ad Hoc Studios is like made my list, which is kind of a big deal. Like I don't follow a bunch of devs. I don't feel like of not anticipating like what are they going to do next. But with them, I'm truly interested in what they're going to do next. We've talked about World of Warcraft a little bit. I'll say this, like, pre-patch for Classic Anniversary happens on January 13th. Is that a week from today? Oh, God. Oh, man. Is that a week from today? That's a week from today. Oh, my God. I'm not ready. I'm not mentally, physically ready. We will probably stream that day. So the podcast... Ooh, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I might have to take a break and record a podcast. I'm going to try to stream a lot that day, but we'll see. But yeah, that's it. I've done remix as much as I want to do. I didn't quite unlock all of the cosmetics, but I got all the ones that I cared about. There's probably like 5 left. I just can't bring myself to go do it. I just feel like I'm done with remix. And I overall didn't really enjoy the experience. I did it for the unlocks, but it was not as good as Mist of Pandaria. You've probably heard me say that a lot. All right, we're going to take a short break. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to get into the news a little bit and go from there. Okay. All this talking got me heated up. I had to take my hoodie off, bro. It's a little warm in here. The weather's so weird. It's like, it'll be kind of cold, then it'll be kind of warm. I don't know. It's weird. And so in the house, it's a little weird because I'm like, do we need to turn the air on? Do we need to turn the heat on? What do we do? We're going to talk about the news is what we're going to do. And there's not like a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world of video games, but there's a few things that I picked out of the hat just to talk about a little bit. The first being something that I just don't know what I'm going to do. Star Wars Outlaws. You remember this game? It's got kind of the drama around it where it's made by Ubisoft, so Strike 1. Strike 2, it's Star Wars, which is kind of it didn't used to be a strike. That used to be a slam dunk or a home run. That used to be a home run. Now it's kind of a strike. And then 3, the main character is like a lady who intentionally looks a little roughed around the edges. Looks a little, and with the artists, at these studios that are making these games, I think that they're trying to go for, let's make the main character lady look realistic. And then they just throw beauty out the window. And look, I'm not a fucking, like, come on. I'm not Brad Pitt over here. You know what I mean? But I know what's attractive and what's not. I'm not saying that, like, oh, she's fucking trash and I'm hot. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, I know my lane, bro. And it ain't, I'm not gonna be on any posters anytime soon. You're not gonna find me in the fireman calendar. You know what I'm saying? But with like the West developers, they go so far that way that's like, you really rough this lady up. And it's always a lady. With the dudes, they always make them beautiful. Why is that? Why is that? Why are the guys always attractive, but then the ladies are like scuffed? But then you go to like East, like Korea, China, and Japan, and they're making like their ladies like way too hot, probably. Like way too hot. And it's like, maybe can we find a balance maybe? I don't know. Like, can we just meet in the middle and then make the perfect game? I don't know. Or the perfect character art, maybe, is what I'm trying to say. But we're in a place. But this game, though, this game, I would have been Dalorrian pre The Last Jedi. So that probably would have been, let's call it 2018. Let's call it 2017. Yeah, let's call it like 2017. I think Last Jedi came out around 2017. Maybe 2016, but I think 2017. 2016 Dalorrian, female character or not, would have been hyped out of his freaking mind over Star Wars Outlaws. And after The Last Jedi, and after the decade of Star Wars content that we have gotten, and you remember how I was saying earlier how like shows fall off and stuff, and so like I'm like less likely to get into them. You remember the Mandalorian and how great that was for like the first 2 seasons, and then Boba Fett came out, and then now it's like, all right, whatever. I mean, that's how I am about it. And then the universe in general of Star Wars is just kind of ruined by like The Last Jedi and the Resistance or whatever the hell, or yeah. So where Star Wars used to be a home run for me, and it's like, bro, yeah, dude, an open world, bounty hunter, smuggler, like Ubisoft, go unlock the map, do some quests, skill up, get on a speeder bike. Oh, dude. Hell yeah. But now that this is, and then, there's drama around this because like they were like, this is going to be $100 game or something like that. It's like, oh my God. And then so yeah, they shot themselves in the foot over and over and over again because Ubisoft is like trying to tank their business, I guess. I don't know what they're doing. They're freaking like, if you want to be good at video games, just do the opposite of everything Ubisoft does. If Ubisoft said, we're going to do the opposite of every decision we make, we're going to do the opposite, they would make fantastic games. They would make like if Ubisoft said on our next project, I want all of you to make decisions about the game, and then me, Dalorrian, or someone with sound mind came back and said, all right, I'm not even going to think about this. I'm going to reverse what you just said. All right, we're going to have a black female lead character. All right, it's going to be a white bro. All right, we're going to put it in Star Wars. Okay, now it's going to be like fantasy, like knights and elves and dwarves. All right, we're going to do this I think of another example. We're going to have a huge open world that's going to be like take forever and ever for people to, clear everything on the map. Nope, you're not. You're going to have a small open world and you're going to focus on story in very slight RPG elements. I mean, I'm just saying, this is an example, and I'm trying to be racist about you got to delete the black lady. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, I know the world that I live in. I know the world that you live in. And this game, if they did everything reversed, it probably would have done very well. And that's Star Wars in general right now. And the thing about Star Wars is it's not like Marvel where you have like multiple universes. I think with Star Wars, they're probably going to make like a multiverse. Like that's the only thing they can do at this point. With everything they've done with like the main story and the franchise, I don't know. I will say I am slightly hyped over the Old Republic game that they teased at the Game Awards. Star Wars The Old Republic Fate. Because it's like some of the original Knights of the Old Republic guys. And I'm like, yeah, I could get in on that. Maybe. You got to show me something, but maybe. And that's going to be years from now. But with Outlaws, it was just kind of like, you look at it and you're like, no, it's not going to do it for me. And I played the first, like, it kind of reminded me of the first, oh God, Jedi, the Cal Kestis game. I'm going to have to Google this. It's going to kill me. Cal Kestis. Yeah, like why can't I think of the name? I think of the main character name. Okay, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Kind of reminds me of that, maybe. I mean, that's more of like a Souls-like, which I played, and that was fine. I like that game, okay, but I didn't play Star Wars Jedi Survivor because I'm just over Star Wars. And now you have to understand, I love Star Wars. I do. I have like lightsabers. You don't see them in here. I put them in the attic. I have I am seen so many the Star Wars movies so many times. Like I'm a fan. I would consider myself like a pretty big Star Wars fan. But over the past decade, I've lost my love for it just because of the direction of the entire franchises went. So for me, it's just like I kind of like the originals, and then the prequels. Like if my kids wanted to watch them, maybe I would watch them. But I'm not going to go. Like I know some people that are like, nah, man, the Clone Wars are where it's at. I'm going to go watch this. Like I'm not watching that, dude. I'm not watching that. Like that's. I hear you. But I understand comparatively, it's fucking cream of the crop now. The prequels are cream of the crop now in comparison to the sequels and what they've done to the universe. But come on. But yeah, so this game, like most Ubisoft games are going to come to Game Pass. And I don't know, I haven't checked to see, is this like on the $30 version or whatever? I think I paid for like the $20 or $15 version. I imagine it would go to that. Maybe I'm wrong. But if it did go to that, it's so sad to me that, like, even though this game's going to be included in something I already pay, I just don't think I can even make time for it. And I don't know if I'm trying to make a point here. I think my point is, like, I want to care, but I'm struggling. And I think that just speaks to Ubisoft and Star Wars, which is like, if just one of them was really good right now, maybe that would be fine. Now, I have buddies who are like, Andor's the best. And I get it, but I can't get over, like, I can't get over the rest of the world. It's like, I don't care. Like, they kind of killed it. I mean, I don't care what happens because I know what happens. You know what I mean? But it's kind of like Lord of the Rings too, which Lord of the Rings I love so much as well. Like any sane human, I love Lord of the Rings. But it's like they're coming out with like a Hunt for Gollum movie, and like Frodo's going to be in it, and Gandalf's going to be in it. And like, Jesus, is Gandalf going to be in a wheelchair? No offense, aging sucks, but Ian McKellen, I mean, come on. But it's like a Hunt for Gollum. Like, do we really need that? Like, do we? Like, we already know what happens with Fellowship of the Ring through the Return of the King. And if you do anything to touch that, like there was the Rings of Power show, and it's like they're showing like Sauron and the prequels, and they're having stories, and they have like black dwarves and elves, and it's like, look, man, if you want to make that, that's fine, whatever. But like, you can't expect me to get in on it. And not that I'm racist. I'm just saying, like, I don't want to live in a, like, I don't want my fantasy of this, like, I don't want the art that somebody made. Someone made art. It took them years to make Lord of the Rings, those movies. They made this perfect art, which was an adaptation of Tolkien, his series and his universe he created, you know, a million years ago or whatever. And it exists, and it's beautiful. And it's like a piece of, just imagine like it was a piece of art. It was just like a physical piece of art, and it was hanging on your wall, right? Hanging up on your fucking wall. And you have a light on it, and it's beautiful, and there's depth, and everyone was creatively on the same page when they painted it and put it in the frame, and it was a multi-person project. It doesn't matter, multi-person project. And they did it, right? And it's like, you're just like, God, I love this painting. It's the perfect painting. I love it. You could also do an analogy with like music, but we're going to stick with the painting. And then you have someone come in and they're like, what if I have a painting that I want to do, and I'm going to make my own painting, and it's going to connect to your painting. Okay? And I'm in here in my house, and I'm looking at my painting, and I'm like, you know, I love that painting. If you did a painting like that painting, there's a good chance I would love it. And I would put it like on its own wall, probably. Maybe. And they're like, no, I want my painting to touch your painting. And it's like, okay. So like, you see how there's like Aragorn, and he's like got a sword, and he's like, and the sword is like going to the edge of the painting or whatever. I have this other painting where I painted Michael Jordan. I'm just kidding. It doesn't have to be black. I painted in Thor from Marvel, and he's got a hammer, right? And so he's like, and it's tastefully done, but he's like, he's about to throw his hammer at Aragorn's sword, and Aragorn's like, just like, what? Like, it's gonna, like, what? He's gonna hit my sword. And I'm gonna put the painting in your house. I'm gonna put it like, just like, I'm gonna let them touch. The frames are gonna touch, and it's gonna look like my painting is now part of your painting, right? And let's like look at that in your house. Does that work for you? I think it's the best thing I've ever done, and I think it tells my story, and I think that it's like makes your painting way better. And you sit back in your house and you look at your painting, and you're like, I know that like you want this to be good, and I know that you put effort into this, and that you have feelings about society as a whole, and you want to express that into your painting, which is like an imitation of an imitation of an imitation. And like, I landed on my imitation that I'm in love with, that I felt like was perfect. You know, like this Lord of the Rings was in this guy's mind. He put it in a book. Then they put it in a movie, and now I have it in my painting. Whatever, here it is. This is the perfect version of it. And then you're coming in with your version, and you're like, this has to be. This is part of the painting now. This is it. Like, just put it in your house, and you need to put it on your wall. And it's like, I don't want to put it on my wall because I don't think it goes. I don't think your painting is at all correct. And I think it's weird. And I think it's like bad, honestly. And I think it's not even getting the point of the original painting. Well, then the person who made the painting, then they get all fucking offended. And you're like, I don't want it. I'm sorry, I don't want it. And they're like, well, you're a racist. And it's like, okay. Well. Movies. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I am a racist. I don't know. Am I racist, guys? Maybe I am. I gotta get this figured out. Maybe there's an app, like the autistic app, where it's like, scan me. It's like I'm 50% racist. I don't know. But yeah, you know, so it's like with Star Wars Outlaws, man, it's like, you know, just you know, it's not what it was. And if it was someone saying, I'm going to put my spin on those original movies, and I'm going to put my, like, this piece of art in this universe that's amazing, I'd be excited about it. But the universe is so diluted now, Star Wars. And then obviously Lord of the Rings as well. Though I might get excited about Lord of the Rings games. Like, those Shadow of War games were actually really good. And again, not that like the Lord of the Rings lore of it was good, but like the systems were good. Which unfortunately that's patent now, and like the whole villain system, what was it called? What did they call that? They didn't call it the villain system. God, what did they call that? I can't remember. Let's we gotta look at it again. The Nemesis system. The Nemesis system. I feel like I have to sneeze. Hang on. Woo, doggy. All right, I sneezed. Sorry. The Nemesis system. I think the Nemesis system is like locked down, dude. I think it's like patented and like we'll never get it again. Isn't that shit? That's shitty. Anyway, we'll move on. I don't think I'm going to play Star Wars Outlaws, man. I like it's basically free or included to play now, and like I just still can't drive myself to do it. I hope that I change. I hope that I change throughout the year, and I'm like, I'm going to give this a fucking go. But like, with Ubisoft and Star Wars, I just can't do it. There's too many other games to play. Now, hit me up in the summer. Maybe nothing comes out, and I'm like, all right, it's time to dive in. But right now, dude, it's too much going on. Let's talk about another thing. Avengers Doomsday. Now, I'm behind on Marvel stuff. But I will say I'm way more into Marvel stuff right now than I would be Star Wars stuff. And I know that after Endgame, Avengers Endgame, I know everything kind of fell apart because it was like, you know, the end of the movie, right? I'm not going to do another long-winded Lord of the Rings analogy. But if you kept trying to do more story after Return of the King, I don't know, man. It's just going to seem like maybe it doesn't work. And so with this, though, they are really trying to make Avengers a thing again, man. Like, they're trying to make it a thing again. And whereas with Star Wars Outlaws, like with Ubisoft and with Star Wars in general, I don't have any hope, and I don't even want to have hope. I honestly, something about Marvel is like, I kind of want to hope for them, dude. And maybe it's because it's like multiverse and anything can happen. But like, I kind of want to root for it. Now, I haven't seen any movies that lead up to Doomsday, okay? I think there was like a Captain America with, I almost said Hawkeye. That's not right. Who's the new Captain America? Falcon. The Falcon, right? In the Winter Soldier. And that was like a TV show that flopped, I think. The Falcon. He's the new Captain America, and like Han Solo. Harrison Ford was the Red Hulk in that movie, and by all accounts on the internet, worst movie ever made. Just forgettable, horrible. And that could be, maybe it's a great movie, I don't know. But I think what I'm going to try to do, though, me as not a movie watcher, I think I am going to give Doomsday a try. Now, I have been kind of off of the Marvel TV show and movie train for a while, just because there's so many. Like, I'm not going to watch Daredevil or She-Hulk. Loki was good. We watched that. I know Mrs. Dalorrian would like that. We watched that. The Scarlet Witch or WandaVision was good. everything else that's come out, I'm just kind of like, I don't care. You know, it's all for fun, whatever. But whatever it turns out to be that like the movies, and I'm sure online somewhere people will say these are the movies you need to watch to get to Doomsday. I probably will watch those. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll go ahead and start on that soon. But like Fantastic Four, I think, is the one for sure that goes into Avengers Doomsday. But I didn't see that, and you know, I didn't see the new Superman either. You know, having children, little baby says that to you. But I think I'm gonna try because they've been doing all these teaser trailers, right? And they had a Thor trailer, and that's the one that I saw for sure. And there's other ones that I have like queued up. I haven't even watched them yet, but I've seen them on the list, and I'm like, I'll watch these in a little bit. But the Thor one I saw, and it was like, you know, it's Chris Hemsworth, and he's short-haired Thor, and he's just praying. He's got his Groot axe, and he's praying, "Oh Father, make me strong, make my daughter strong, help me to be a soldier," or something, you know, something like that. And it shows like a little cut scene of like his like a little scene of like his daughter like way far off, like him. She's in a bed or something. He's like hugging her or something like that. And it's just him praying in a forest. But the thing is like he's kind of serious, and he's not like a freaking cartoon character like he was in the Thor: Love and Thunder. And boy, like Thor: Love and Thunder is a movie that I did see, and I was like, this looks like this is just going to be stupid fun. Man, I want to get into this because it's just going to be stupid fun. And it wasn't fun. It was just stupid. They forgot to have the fun. And it was just really dumb and stupid. So, and Thor was just completely stupid. So everyone's jacked to the tits that Thor's like Avengers Thor again, like from Endgame. Like seriously. And Thor's always been kind of funny. You got Fat Thor in the movies, you know, and he was always kind of a comical relief in a lot of ways to me. And so you want a little bit of that, but like he was just completely a cartoon character clown in that last movie. And so it's interesting that they're like, all right, let's bring him back, but a serious way, you know? So I think it's cool. And then they have another one that I saw some screens of. Actually, I think I saw like a little clip. I don't know how long it is. I think I saw a clip, but I don't know if I saw the full one. They brought back Patrick Stewart from the dead. I'm just kidding. Patrick Stewart's alive, I think. How do we know, guys? Hang on. Now that AI exists, if Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen died, would they actually tell us? Or like, are they just going to keep, like Patrick Stewart could be dead and they're like, look, hey man, sign this contract. If you die, we're not going to tell anybody you're dead until like the movies are done, and then we'll say that you died. And he's like, whatever you say, number one. I don't know, right? I don't know. Is that real? I don't know. Seems like it could be real. But anyway, there's a teaser with like Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. Like the old, I call them old X-Men movies because fuck, they are old. But I remember when they were like new, because I was like in high school or something. And then they got like the original Cyclops guy, whose actor's name I don't remember. He was in Sonic the Hedgehog the last time I saw him. He's in it, and it's like, okay, so the X-Men, the old school 2000, early 2000s. Not the best version of movie X-Men at all. I think the first class X-Men were way better, by far. But they're bringing these guys back, and you know they've done that with like Wolverine and Deadpool. Like they're doing these pulls, like they bring a Gambit and Blade, and they're doing kind of these nostalgia drops. And it's like that, like the Thor thing. I'm like, okay, all right. But then they throw in like X-Men, and I'm like, I love X-Men, but this version of it, I don't know. Is there a story to be told here? Is there a story to be told about Patrick Stewart, Professor X, and Ian McKellen, Magneto? Is that something that I would be way more excited if they brought back Mr. Tumnus and the other guy? God, why can't I remember people's names? Patrick Mahomes. No, that's not right. God, guys, I'm sorry. James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender. If they were in it, I'd be like, okay. Now you got a little something going, maybe. But yeah, and then I think there was like a Fantastic Four and Black Panther meetup teaser. I haven't seen that. I don't think this movie comes out until like December 2026. It's January 6th or 7th right now. And that's another thing with this. Like, they're pre-hyping it. Like, way too far. Like, they're way too far out. Dude. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna drop trailers in the summer. They're like, yeah, when does this come out? Let's just make sure. Okay, so like, Avengers Doomsday release date. I think it's Christmas. Yeah, December 18th. Practically a full year, 365. The week before Christmas. It's not even summer. It should be summer. Like, if it were summer, I'd be like, I think I'm going to go see this. If it's Christmas, I'm like, I don't know. I'm already over it. It's too far. Like, you're teasing Thor a year out. You're teasing so far out. I'm over it. I don't care. But if it was summer, I'd be like, okay. Yeah, dude, that seems like a fun thing to go see this summer. Yeah. So I don't know what the hell they're doing. We've talked about this in the past on other videos and stuff. It's like tighter marketing windows, man. It's just better for me as a consumer. I know that like making money and stuff, maybe it's like, nah, they got to hype it up for 2 years or whatever the hell, or a year. But I'm going to forget so much about this shit, dude. Like they're putting like 4 little teasers out. I mean, they're going to put like a teaser out every week for a full year, 52 teasers. That'd be the whole damn movie. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So they'll certainly drop trailers in the summer, you know, if they're going to come out Christmas. Like, damn. See, what they should do, if they were smart, they would move it up. If they were smart, this whole time they'd be dropping teasers and they'd have it planned. They're saying December 18th, but they really, everybody's working together and they really truly have it planned. Secrecy, but they really truly have it planned. And they're working together somehow, some way to get it out in summer. And then come like March, they're like, actually, it's coming out in July or June. Now that would be genius. Because it'd be like, movies never get moved up. Movies never get moved up. Games never get moved up, really. That'd be exciting. It would show confidence that it was ready. But what do I know? I know nothing. All right, let's talk about one more thing here that, you know, you guys, if you don't know, I love Red Dead Redemption 2. I love Red Dead Redemption in general. And this week I've been following along. There's this new mystery in Red Dead Redemption 2 that people have found. And it's basically like these spider symbols that are carved out and spider webs and shit like that people are finding like on trees with little symbols, and it'll say like north or northwest or whatever. And people have like drawn on the map like there's an 8. So there's like a spider, like 8 legs on the map, and then like the body in the middle. And so like when you map it out, like the locations, it's not like a perfect spider, but it's like, okay, it's got 8 legs and there's like a thorax kind of looking thing. You could see this. And so people are discovering this later. Like, what are these spider webs and symbols mean? Like, we've never seen this. And I don't think it's been patched in. Maybe it is. You don't know. Maybe it's been patched in. I don't know. And then there's like a guitar-shaped path that like people have overlaid like a guitar-shaped path that's like Fort Wallace. And basically like they've looked at the clues and it's led them to like Fort Wallace on the map. You don't know Red Dead Redemption. It's a fort like in the hills close to Valentine, right? Whatever. But it's a big fort, like a military fort. And currently, like last time I checked, the community's kind of stuck on it. Because it's like they're at Fort Wallace and it's like, looks like it's like pointing somewhere. And then like now they're kind of stuck. They're like, okay, I'm here. And you're pointing this way. And then they go to the next location and they're not really seeing anything. And so people are reaching, and I love it, dude. They're just clawing. And it's like, and the thing about Rockstar is the worst communicators of all time. And I don't know if that's on purpose or like they just don't have a community manager communicator. And they're like, nobody gives, like, we're so big, it doesn't matter. Like, fuck the customers about what they know about anything. Like, we're not, who cares, you know? But it's like, is this like real? Or does this actually point to anything? Is this like another Mount Chiliad situation? Like GTA Online and 5, like it didn't really like lead to much? Or is it something? And I just love that like in a 7-8-year-old game, again, this game may be the best open world that I've ever played in. Like, I love the world of Red Dead Redemption 2. I love that world so much. One of the best games ever made to me, truly. And it's so intricate, and it's such a crazy map with so much detail. It is so believable that like 7 years later, it's like, no, there's another thing that like the developers were just kind of trolling with, or like some other kind of like random Easter egg. And so I'm gonna follow this. It may go nowhere, but boy, it seems like it's going somewhere. And I don't think there's like a clear resolution yet. But that shit just excites me, man. And obviously kind of excites for GTA 6. And you wonder, like your conspiracy theory mind starts to wonder. Like, did they patch this shit in just to like hype GTA 6? Like just to get people, like just to get Rockstar on the radar? Just like a little marketing tool? I don't know. And people are like, so Madame Nazar, right? She's a character in Red Dead Online. She's like a little tarot card reader lady. And in GTA, you can go to like, you know, the pier or whatever. Like you can get like an arcade machine that's like the little lady in a glass box, like, oh, I'll tell you your future, ha ha ha. And like she has like a quote or something about like spiders and some shit. Like people are trying to put it together. So like Madame Lazar or Nazar or Lazar or Nazar in like GTA 5, like she's the same character. Like is she giving a clue in GTA 5 for Red Dead 2? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. If you love conspiracy stuff, though, check it out. There's articles all over it, all over the place. You can go to Reddit, and it's like everywhere, obviously. But I don't know. Maybe they found it out by now. I'm going to check it out later. But yeah, we've been going for a long time. This is a long podcast, but with my new mic, I hope it's all gravy. I hope it sounds good. I hope it feels good. And yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. As always, like if you have any questions or comments, you can come to the Discord. You can always comment on the YouTube video or the Spotify podcast. I think you can comment there. And then obviously you can always go to DalorrianTV@gmail.com and hit me up with any feedback, corrections. Let me know if I'm a racist or a misogynist or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, talk about games you want to play. Let me know what you thought about Dispatch or Red Dead 2, any of this stuff. Let me know. And I hope you guys have a great week. And next week, it's like World of Warcraft week. So we're going back in, and I'm not ready. I got to get my mind ready for it. I got to get ready. But yeah. See you guys.